Greetings, everyone. My name is Charles Kovach, the not safe for work presidential candidate campaigning for a more direct democracy. And because simply saying, would you like to try a more direct democracy? I would. Let's try this thing. Over and over and over again. It gets dull and boring and repetitive and no one wants to listen to it. I make videos talking about current topics and other things that interest me as a way to garner attention towards this campaign. So let's begin with the big, important news that's so big, it's huge. Yeah, al-Baghdadi apparently is dead. Again, that makes... terrorists got a lot of lives. I don't know. He's been dead so many times, apparently. Maybe he's really dead this time, even though there's no body and the circumstances of his death are rather quite suspect. I mean, I know when I'm hanging out in the cave with my family, I always wear a suicide vest. Yeah. But on more health-related stuff, let's talk about food. Because I'm a fat bastard and I like food. So a study came out showing that eating red meat, that there's no proof that eating red meat will cause things like heart disease and cancer and so forth. I always took issue with this initial study that said that it did. Because how the fuck can eating red meat cause cancer other than maybe the pesticides getting absorbed into the meat and then eating the carcinogens and so forth? But red meat by itself, yeah. So of course you had all the people coming forth that stand to lose money from saying something like this, saying, oh, don't pay attention to this, oh, this is irresponsible. Look, when it comes to your diet, you know the best people you should ask about your diet? Your parents, your grandparents. People that, cooked for themselves and had their own diet and they were brought up on diets and recipes from their families. Because, hey, they kind of lived a long time eating the same shit for generations. So, yeah. This whole notion of a public standard for what everybody should eat is really fucking stupid. Because we're all different and we all come from different backgrounds. We're all different ethnicities. And that actually matters when it comes to something like things your body are better equipped to digest and process. And you getting what I'm putting down here? But speaking of things that we ingest, there is a case heading to the Supreme Court right now that I found rather interesting. The case is about the county of Maui versus the Hawaiian Wildlife Fund. So let's see if you can pick up the bullshit. And I have to sneeze, but hopefully, no. Okay, so the Clean Water Act says that pollutants can't come from one point source and go into navigable waters. Things like rivers and lakes and... God, this sneezing feeling, ugh. Okay, rivers and lakes and the ocean and and whatnot. So, let's see if you can pick up the bullshit here. Because it's the County of Maui's argument that pollutants that come from groundwater and go into navigable waters are not considered to be a point source, regardless that those pollutants came from a specific source beforehand. You follow all that? So basically they're saying, oh, well, you know what, it's okay to pollute the groundwater, but when that pollutant's in the groundwater gets into the other water, oh, hey, I don't know, hey, it's just kind of thing that happened. Yeah. I think it's kind of obvious what argument I'm going to be siding with on this one. And of course, for those of you that have not seen, there's a YouTuber named Optimus who did a whole video exposing how YouTube censors people. So let's file this one under the no shit Sherlock category, because we all know that Google and YouTube and all the big tech companies censor people in their own ways. But still, it is interesting to see how exactly they were doing it, and of course, after this video was released, they quickly changed their methodology and made it less visible. I'm guessing that all they really did was they took all the classes and the variable names and just changed them so that they're now harder to find on the web page themselves. But speaking of media, I'm sure you've heard about this whole thing with what is now called Go Media, who runs sites like Kotaku and whatnot. Now, here's where things get interesting, because I don't like Kotaku. They're racist. Their articles tend to be racist and sexist, and really are the result of when two dumpster fires have a baby and breastfeed it lead paint. But the workers of Kotaku are rebelling against the new management, the new ownership of the company that has decided to put all these ads all over the sites, not just Kotaku but the other sites that Go Media owns. All these ads on the sites that play audio and autoplay as soon as you go to the web page. Now, as much as I don't like Kotaku, they are doing the right thing. The people there are fighting for their customers, and they're standing up for their own rights as well. This is something that we see more and more. You have teachers who are going on strike, and the reason why they're striking is not only because they get paid shitty, but they also want the welfare of their students to improve. So I can't really say fuck Kotaku, because I really can't stand them when they are doing something that I agree with. It all goes back to that thing that even a broken clock is right twice a day. But, bad thing in news is that Max Blumenthal apparently was arrested over the weekend. So we got Assange still in jail, Chelsea Manning still in jail, and now Max Blumenthal got arrested. Apparently the charges were for a 5-month-old warrant for assaulting a Venezuela opposition member at the Venezuelan embassy. Why would it take 5 months for them to go after Max Blumenthal, someone who is constantly exposing the bullshit and corruption that goes on in our government and pointing it out for us, and some of the similar, the same thing that Assange did and why he's in jail and so forth. Are you getting what I'm getting right now, or getting what I'm trying to say right now? I mean, personally, I can't wait until I get some kind of fame or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm in jail for something that apparently there's a shitload of evidence for, or whatever, some bullshit. This is the tool that they use on us. I just find it laughable that they have to justify it. But if you say something they do like, they'll support you, they'll pat you on the back, and they'll say all kinds of nice things about you. Like how Mike Pence was saying he supports the Hong Kong protests. Nothing about the Yellow Vest protests or any other protesting around the world, but yeah, the Hong Kong ones he supports, definitely. And he's shamed the companies that are, quote, kowtowing to China. I find it really interesting when a Republican talks about the faults in a free market without even knowing about it. Because in a free market, if China's going to offer them a lot of money, hey, look at that. That's free market right there. Anyways, almost had to sneeze again. But anyways, yeah, I find it very interesting when a Republican unknowingly argues against the free market or exposes or shows what the problems with a free market are. So, if you want a more direct democracy, if you want to be more in control over what goes on in our government, please spread the word about this campaign. And hopefully I will be getting back to sleep soon, because insomnia is still a thing. And I thank you for your time.